Hey guys, it's Beer Taster. Guys, it's a beautiful day. I'm here to review another beer. And guys, here I'm gonna be doing a review of a beer that maybe you've heard of before. Maybe you've had this beer. You know, this beer is famous for coming from Colorado, and it's famous for those Rocky Mountains and those blue mountains. Those blue mountains on the bottle, guys. It's the one and only. Oh, maybe it's different from what you were thinking. It's Avalanche. Avalanche Amber Style Ale. Avalanche. Fine Colorado Ales. Breckenridge Brewery. Our original fine handcrafted amber ale, 12 ounces. First brewed in Breckenridge, Colorado, 1988. It's an ale, guys, an amber style ale, Avalanche, from Breckenridge Brewery in Colorado. Guys, I've never had this. I've just opened this now. I haven't even sipped it or smelled it or anything. You're just going to be getting my first impressions. Here we go. Avalanche Amber Style Ale. What does it smell like? That's what it looks like in the bottle. What does it smell like? It's a nice, clean, good aroma. There's nothing harsh or off about it. Smells malty, slightly toasted. There's a good, rich, really, malt aroma coming from this. A little bit of maybe yeast fruitiness. That's what I'm getting. It smells good. Let me give it a taste. This is nice. You taste a rich malt sort of flavor. It's got some complexity to it. You know what this reminds me of? Alaskan Amber. To me, this tastes very similar to Alaskan Amber. This is good. Alright, this is what I'm getting. This is medium bodied. It's got a nice solid body, and it's rich and malty, but still pretty drinkable. And there is a mild lingering bitterness at the end of this beer. That's kind of what it tastes like. But I'll say this, the malts are nice and rich and flavorful, and to me there's a little bit of complexity to the flavor here that I think is either coming from the malt or maybe from the yeast. There's just like a little bit of complex richness with this malt here. I'm liking it. It's not really a toasted malt. It's maybe a little bit, very little. It's just rich. And not grainy, it's just malty. It tastes like good, clean, high quality, rich malt. I'd say there's almost like a fruity character. It's either coming from something in the malt or maybe from the yeast. The hops are light, but they balance the beer nicely. There's just a little bit of hop flavor that you detect as you're tasting the malts, and there's also just a mild lingering bitterness. I'd say this beer, you know, leans more to the malty side than to the hoppy side, but the hops, they're there and they balance it nicely, and the malt is rich and flavorful, and there's just a little something extra that I think is coming from that. I think they're using a good yeast, and it shows. The yeast is good, and it just tastes good. Medium bodied, medium carbonation, flavorful but drinkable. It's a good beer. I like it. Let me sip on it a little more because these are just my first impressions. I'm drinking it pretty cold. It was in this ice cold cooler. A lot of ice in it. a beautiful day, guys. I know a lot of you guys right now, you guys have a bad winter this year. And man, I remember those. I had a lot of those too. I like this a lot better, guys. It's beautiful here. Wish you were here too. Come visit. And Arizona. And right now this beer's tasting real good. Let me see if there's anything I haven't described yet. This is a nice beer. This is a nice beer. Because the malts, they're rich and flavorful. And it has a good medium bodied. And there's some hops. You're getting that hop flavor up front. And then there's like a mild lingering bitterness. And this beer is very drinkable and well balanced. But it has good flavor too. I like this beer. And you know, guys, I've been surprised because I've been on a long time now lager drinking trend. I mean, for years now. I've been drinking more lagers than anything. And I started out liking beer because of ales. Ales are flavorful and there's a lot to them. They're not boring, that's for sure. Lagers sometimes are boring. Ales usually aren't. And being out here in the heat, being out in the desert a lot, working outside a lot, I've gravitated toward the lagers here for a while. And for these reviews, I've been trying more ales, especially since the cooler months have started. Last summer I was doing all lagers, but since it's gotten cooler, I've been doing ales for the winter. And I've really been remembering how nice ales can be. I think a lot of ales are over the top and not well balanced, and I don't enjoy them. But when I come across one like this, or many of the other ones that I've reviewed that I like, they're good quality craft ales, but they're balanced and drinkable. They have good flavor, but good drinkability and just well made, well balanced. When I taste nice ales like this, it makes me remember how good ales can be. And, you know, cheap adjunct lager like I like to drink, that's a good, you know, just throw back 1 or 2 or 3. Kind of nice ice cold beer, especially on a hot day. But something like that, even though it has great drinkability, you can't really compare it to something like this. Because this is just so much tastier and more wholesome. And when I drink this, I feel like, I mean, this is something as nice as like a really nice well-made bread or something, you know. This is like food almost. It's so rich and good. It's almost like food. But those lagers, they're just like, that's just like drink, you know. You just drink that down to quench your thirst. This is something a little bit more hearty and substantial and complex. And I like it, and I'm liking it right now, guys. This is a good one. I'd say definitely give this one a try. And tell me what you think. I like this beer. They got the balance down. Drinkable and good flavor. If you like malts, if you like malty flavored beers, but you want something maybe a little bit lighter than what you're used to, and more drinkable, and very well balanced, give this a try. This is a good one, guys. Avalanche Amber Style Ale. It's a good beer. Enjoy.